This is Mr. Káyọ Oloko. He's my good friend and, in fact, networker extraordinaire. So, you see that flat, you must have matchmaker. Match romantic matchmaking. One matchmake anybody. A lot of the people I know in this Yorùbá culture and content and work, I know through Mr. Oloko, is someone who plugs people to other people, like he's a real connector. I'm a shy. That's all things about is amazing app, co-founded an app, and he's going to talk a lot more about it. And also relationships, dating, and masculinity from the Yoruba context. So, Mr. Oloko, super plug, exactly. So, welcome.
Odiki kan náà ò dùn yẹn náà lọ.
Ẹ wá kí oríkì yín fún wa dáadáa, ó yá. Alágẹmọ mẹ́rìndínlógún, àbí alágẹmọ mélòó lẹ pé? Mẹ́rìndínlógún?
Yeah, mẹ́rìndínlógún làwọn ọmọ jẹ. Àwa ọmọ Fìdípọ̀tẹ̀.
Fìdípọ̀tẹ̀.
Yeah, àwa náà lọ tún pé lọmọ Banta. So, ó pọ̀,
It's plenty. Oh yeah, now. Okay.
I mean, at this moment, every Ijebu sons and daughters, àwọn ọlọ́mọ iye tó ti ń jábọ́ lápò wọn. Our WhatsApp group is getting interesting, and
so you have an Ijebu this people WhatsApp group?
I mean, general Ijebu WhatsApp group, and also, what is it called? Different nuclear family WhatsApp groups. It's getting busy because then, I mean, this is anybody who knows, they know how much I cherish my grandfather. Mi man dun tí bá jókòó tí bá wo grandfather mi. Nítorí fún àwa ìyá Yorùbá, ọmọ 24 ló fún wa. And we grandchildren, we are 76 and counting, right? So ìyẹn náà ó máa tún jẹ́ kí inú wa dùn. So mo dẹ̀ máa sọ fún àwọn èèyàn gbà mí, we have a ẹ má bínú, èmi ti fẹ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀.
Ní sùúrù, first of all, tó bá jẹ́ ti grandfather yẹn ni èmi náà ní grandfather o. My own grandfather too. Ó dàbí pé àwọn grandfathers yẹn wọ́n try ní láti fún wọn. So exactly, we're talking about masculinity. And at the time, they were at the peak of their masculinities at the time. My grandfather had 41 or 42 children, and he was Balogun of Lagos, also Balogun of Lagos Muslims, and he was a very successful merchant. So he used to have lots of people that on my dash also in Bolora, I have lots of pictures with him of him. So like woman, those picture moments. So many on the full Yoruba regalia. So he was very successful in his time. And I wonder now what's happening in our own generation when it comes to our definition of masculinity. Shubon, I can very slowly. Tell us first about yourself. You can tell me a bit more about your family and your grandfather and the inspiration you took from him.
All right, so Sherry, ibi tí mo ti end yẹn náà ni ma ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ṣe get ibẹ̀ ni ma ti continue, because ṣe mọ̀ pé tí ó bá sí àwọn òbí tèmi, èmi náà ò ní jókòó síbi, tí ó bá dẹ̀ sí grandpa mi àti grandma mi, àwọn náà ò ní bí mi, ṣe get. So màá fi yẹn máa sliding into who is Káyọ̀dé Adékúnlé Oloko, ṣe get. So bí mo yẹn sọ lọ, 76 grandchildren and counting. And nígbà mi tí bá jókòó tí bá rò ní pé who is Alhaji Oloko, a lot of people, that's what we just call him, Alhaji Oloko. He was a disciplinarian, funny enough, and if you say bá jókòó tẹ́ bá wò, I think your grandfather was also the same, a very disciplined person. Kò fi ìyàwó ẹ̀ ṣeré, àwọn ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà ò fi ṣeré, kò dẹ̀ fọmọ ṣeré, àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ náà ò dẹ̀ fi ṣeré, a disciplinarian to the core. And I'm happy, I'm one of his disciples. I instigated the fact that we needed an association for grandchildren. And just like you said, I'm always like, hey, carry kapo yeni. And I know all my uncles and my aunts, I have all their phone numbers, and when I was getting married, for example, I had 1,000 people at my wedding, 1,000 plus.
And not left of them.
But the good part, Sherry kini o wa lara nkan tan so. Owó tí ìyàwó mi gbà ní wedding wa, I think my wife made double of the amount we spent on the wedding. Because in Kotaman so far when you're near, a lot of people are like, these weddings are always too extra. And now the man so far maybe because Atuwa Jejebu, our mobile is a party. She gets Ijebu is a party could lose. She gets it got so so answering that question, as you can see, I'm a very, very proud Ijebu son. I'm an Ijebu boy. My mom happens to be Egba. And one of the most interesting parts I also try to mention to people is I'm royalty for my 4 grandparents. So Sherry Motuni lati dupe my grandfather from my father's side. Most of all me company tawabere sin ta eje nle Yorùbá eje temi ma won die o. Because my grandfather from my father's side is from Ijebu-Ode. My grandmother from my grandfather's side is from Ekiti. Then my grandfather from my mom's side is Egba, and then my grandmother from my mother's side is a princess from Isaleko. So Aganus
everywhere. You see, maybe that's one of the reasons why you're such a connector, because with that pedigree, right, you will know many people from like all the different quarters, and so you're able to bring people together.
Yeah. So I mean,
so one Yoruba.
So I have 2 wonderful kids, Angela Olua, Atioluwa Yimika. And my beautiful wife, you also know her. So I mean, Adipelo alone. And the good part about it, Shemo, ni wípé Shemo, nǹkan táwa Yorùbá máa ń sọ wá ní èèyàn nígi lẹ́yìn ọgbà èèyàn, family èèyàn ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, ṣe get nǹkan tí mo sọ. And one thing I've noticed about life is that ní journey ilé ayé, àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ńgbà míì, wọ́n máa tún di mọ̀lẹ́bí èèyàn. So that is the way I see life. That's the way Káyọ Oloko sees life. I think everything Timon She has to do with, family first, friends, and family, Ile Yorùbá second. Ile Yorùbá second, Ile Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ dàrú lórí wa, and that has led me to different projects. Different committees that has to do with báwo la ṣe fẹ́ gbé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lárugẹ. And for the past 10 years now, I think attending different conferences in London and stuff, I'm happy that the first time they met Makpade physically, Mo was in one of those conferences, and and there, even though I said I used for 10 minutes, to shake
but it was good to
yeah. But you know, Professor, you pay to shake to network
because don't worry, I want that network I will be your thinking that
Emma, anytime you need Yorùbá picking inbound. And actually, you got that here, so it's here. Yorùbá picking no share Instagram live for you. No, ni mo sọ pé at least I lè sọ fún pa Yorùbá picking. Ó bá àwọn followers tẹ́ni yìí, ó máa tiẹ̀ dá kọ́gbọ́ yìí, ó máa kọ́ máa rá àwọn Yakubu.
Plus, Yorùbá picking, YorùbáMàmá ló ń pè yẹn, ọmọ ìbá jẹ́ sí màmá lẹ́nu.
So. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, and I'm sure, èèyàn bíi tèmi náà làwọn náà, wọ́n believe nínú gbégbégbé tó bá tètè bá wọn gbé tó bá jù sẹ́ńkù lélẹ̀ ò ní lè dàgbé. So yeah, I think that's Káyọ Oloko in a nutshell. in a nutshell. Ẹ má bínú mo kàn ẹ wo.
Oh, sister, ṣe báyìí, no problem. Ọ̀rọ̀ yín yé mi, understanding ló matter, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, àbí ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. So, okay, so that's you. But tell us what made you you. Tell us about your background. Irú ilé tẹ́ gbé, ibi tẹ́ gbé dàgbà, the trainings and the, family situation, your schooling, gbogbo orú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
Okay.
What made you?
So, ọmọ mi ò ṣe dá àwọn béèrè tẹ́ ń béèrè yìí báyìí. Àwọn béèrè yẹn ó kì í síbẹ̀ ni o. So, wọ́n bí mi sí St. Nicholas ní Èkó. Oworosoki mo dàgbà sí. Oworosoki, Ogunaiki Street. Mo dẹ̀ lọ sí Abatech Secondary School. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn mo lọ sí Futa Àkúrẹ́. So máa ń rò pé gbogbo ìrísí yẹn náà ló sọ mí di ẹni tí mo jẹ́ lénìí. Mi ò ń kórìíra èèyàn, mi ò dẹ̀ ń kórìíra ibi téèyàn bá wà. Èmi náà dẹ̀ máa ń gbàdúrà pé káwọn èèyàn má kórìíra wa, Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí èèyàn kórìíra. So mo ní ẹ̀gbọ́n obìnrin méjì, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀gbọ́n obìnrin 5 ni mo ní. Àwọn bàbá wa máa ń gbọmọ tọ́. Inú mi máa ń dùn láti sọ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n obìnrin 5 ni mo ní. Ìgbà tí mo bímọ ọkùnrin gan, ìyàwó mi fi mí ṣe ẹ̀yẹ. Ọjọ́ yẹn mo tẹ̀ wọ́n pé ó ń jókòó tó ń wo laptop mi, mo ní láti tẹ̀ síbẹ̀ pé how do you raise a male child?
Sọ̀rọ̀ obìnrin ló yí mi ká.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni obìnrin ló yí mi ká. So màámi náà dẹ̀ tún jẹ́ Yínká. So I think that's my upbringing in a nutshell. So láti kékeré náà ni mo tiẹ̀ ti ń kọbi ara sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ báwo lobìnrin ṣe ń bá ọkùnrin gbé, because bí mo ṣe sọ ṣe máa ìwọ tó jẹ́ pé obìnrin ẹ̀gbọ́n 5 ló ní àti kékeré lọ tí wọ́n máa gbọ́ bàbá yìí Fẹ́mi ti fi mí lẹ̀, Ṣẹ́gun ti fi mí lẹ̀, so àti kékeré náà láti dá.
ẹ ti máa dáadáa àwọn obìnrin yìí àwọn àǹtí ẹ máa rí kónkó ló báyìí bọ̀bọ̀ kan máa bọ̀ ẹ máa ṣe bí nǹkan ní muscle láti tákù lẹ́yìn.
but ẹ má tún gbàgbé pé room and parlour mo gbé dàgbà, so different family tales là ń gbọ́, different family tales là ń rí, ṣe get, and ìyẹn náà ó jẹ́ kí èèyàn mọ̀ pa bí ilé ayé ṣe rí. Láti kékeré náà wọ́n sẹ́ndì kinní kan sí mi nípa secondary school wa ta lọ ṣẹmọjọ́ téèyàn bá parí wọ́n máa ń pè ní valedictory service, so wọ́n sẹ́ndì ìwé yẹn sí mi, and I think I've been someone like that. So when it got to my own page, Tom sort of, what are your role models? Where do you see yourself in future? What are my role models? I wrote all the elders in my society. Then it didn't make sense. I think I just wanted, what would you become? I mean, so banker, mathematician, Murati. The first thing to me, I don't know.
No, that's good.
And Shemo, the funny thing, secondary school, man, no, you have to write something there. I'm like, science armor, mathematician armor, not doing it. Mobile law padi mi, kini woko? Olohun ko electrician. Kini woko? Olohun ko mathematician. Kini woko? Ele iso lawyer mo ni Ọlọ́run á bá gbogbo yín ṣe o. So on the long run, mo kọ́kọ́ electrician or mathematician or
lawyer.
So ìgbà tí ma kọ márùn yẹn, principal tún rí, ó tún dá padà. Pé ìwọ bọ̀bọ̀ yìí, kí ló dé tó fi or sí? Because I don't know, like I really do not know. Then one person saw from me, okay, kill on to fancy. Most of them go introtech. When you introtech, maybe you want to be an architect, maybe you are my colleague, money me your fancy lati colleague. So I started to joke, I started to roll, and lati beye, I saw that I was good with social studies. Because I need lati joke, she sat down with me from GS1, I will grades me, So I was very good with introtech. I was very good with social science, and I was very good with Yorùbá. So nígbà yẹn ta jókòó ta fẹ́ ṣe WAEC ṣe mọ̀ wá ti mọ ibi tó ti fẹ́ gba A.
Àti mọ̀ wá ti target ẹ̀.
Ṣe get, so introtech àti Yorùbá òun ló gbé mi wọ fúta.
Ẹ ti mọ̀ ṣọ́ báńkà ṣẹ́rí.
Ṣọ́ báńkà.
But a lot of the time, what was your grade in Yoruba during WAEC? You don't have to be a Yoruba genius to do culture work. You just have to have an appreciation and a dedication to the culture. But anything, above and beyond, A1, Yoruba.
A1, ni mo ní o.
A1.
A1.
Wow.
And the funny thing, mo fẹ́ lè sọ pé ìbírú ìyàwó mi ń sìn ó mọ Yorùbá jù mí lọ. And ṣe mo jẹ́ èèyàn kan dìgbà tí mo dàgbà mi ò ṣàjà lọ ṣe so ń gbà yẹn mú kọ béèrè A mélòó ni a gbọ́dọ̀ ní ní fúta wọ́n ní A méjì àbúṣe tí bùṣe wọ́n ní in any subject bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbúṣe tí bùṣe màá ní ní introtech màá ní ní
Yorùbá.
So and back to point tẹ̀sán sharing nǹkan tẹ̀sán yẹn nǹkan tó múlé lóko ni ó ní tẹ́ bá lọ wo Instagram mi ìgbà tí mo lọ sí Èkó the last time àwọn Wikipedia Yorùbá wọ́n ṣe ètò kan ní Unilag so wọ́n pè mí mo bá wọn ganu sí and lára nǹkan tó ń sọ wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ yẹn kọ́ ní orí yá nípa pé èdè Yorùbá lè ń kà ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ dànù àwọn èèyàn ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n fi ń ṣe iṣẹ́ takuntakun nígboro nígbà tá a dẹ̀ wá ń sọ kinní yẹn mo wá jókòó mo wá rò mo wá ní ilé ayé yìí máa fọ́ ní gan-an ní pé gbogbo àwọn 10 people tó ń wá sọ́kàn mi ní pé ta bá ń sọ pé Yorùbá kò sí tó ka Yorùbá nù wọn like pé ó lọ sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga láti kọ́ Yorùbá òun náà ni mo ń sọ yìí ẹ wo Yorùbá pikin ẹ̀gbọ́n Saki ni èka Yorùbá ẹ ti gbé Lumi wá mi ò mọ̀ nǹkan tí Lumi sọ.
Yorùbá. What's that language? German? I remember. German làwọn kà.
Sister Faderera.
Definitely not Yoruba.
Mo bọ̀ ta ni mo tún lè sọ wá ṣeré.
Wá ṣeré not Yoruba but yeah not Yoruba but something else.
Abínibí. Abínibí mo doubt Abínibí bá ka Yorùbá. Mo doubt yẹ.
It's a fashion thing.
It's so máa ń explain fún wọn ní pé unfortunately ẹ̀yin tó yẹ kẹ́ di èdè yẹn mú àwọn tó ti fi ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga lẹ̀ bí ọdún 10 sẹ́yìn àwọn ọ̀ràbòtì àwa tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé akọ̀wé báyìí pé èdè yóò gbọ́dọ̀ parun àṣà yóò gbọ́dọ̀ parun a gbọ́dọ̀ wá nǹkan tá a máa ṣe sí òun náà ló sọ wá di kíní mo ní so ìyẹn ò ń ṣe in fact lecturer àwọn very totally amazing woman Dr. Adedoyin Shemo she was so eloquent nípa speech wọn in fact wọ́n jù sáwà ta fẹ́ràn yìí wọ́n ní tẹ́fà ẹ̀ẹ́kọ̀ rí àwọn tó ka Yorùbá àwọn ló ń ganu sí Yorùbá jù mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni because what we've learnt is to fill a void ní pé and Shemo kíní ẹ̀kọ́ ti yé wa it has to be a passion thing.
Yeah. But we also need the expertise. And that's why personally for me when I need people to work with me mo máa ń particularly head on àwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ní background in Yoruba. I think initially àwọn náà kọ̀ máa ń kà because bóyá wọn kò sí mi ìtàn rí another course they didn't see it as valuable but I think more and more surely nísìnyí wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé Yorùbá yìí o àwọn lè fi ṣe nǹkan báyìí and I imagine that in the next few years we're going to have lots of Yoruba graduates and also lots of people that they finish with Yoruba and they do things with Yoruba. They don't just go and do banking or do this or do that. One marker láti lò láti gbé èdè àti àṣà yẹn lárugẹ sí.
Ben, mo agree pẹ̀lú yín. In fact, èèyàn kọ́kọ́ tó wá sí mi lọ́kàn sí tẹ́ bá rí Kúnlé Afọláyan òun náà ka Yorùbá.
Yeah.
There's a lady tí mo mọ̀ kó ka linguistic.
Even Mason Igbo ka Yoruba.
Yeah, I think he said he did. No, I think he studied Yoruba. I think he did.
I doubt because I've had a conversation with him. But anyway, I want to ask fún wa lọ́jọ́ kan.
Yeah, I think he did. I can't Google it, but I think he did. So I mean, and so just like Beshe saw, àti ń dé àsìkò yẹn tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tó ka Yorùbá.
Only computer science, but I don't know if she's saying this in reference to master and
Yeah. So a very good person that is also coming to my mind. Mo dey agree pẹ̀lú yín ní pé ṣe mọ̀ kárìn kápọ̀ yíyẹni. So tẹ́ bá lọ wo àwọn òwe tèmi náà ò lè ṣe kémi náà má lo Yorùbá dìbúrà. In fact lórí Yétúndé wa gan Yorùbá dìbúrà sì máa rí àwọn kankan wá dẹ̀ tún pé àkíyèsí wá sí gbà eléyìí nǹkan báyìí kan tó yẹ ká lò báyìí tó yẹ ká sí o. You know, and so and he's been ṣe mọ̀ kò sí tẹ́ pé borí bá mì ara náà máa mì. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, so I agree with you ńbẹ̀ yẹn ni pé you know what they are a force to reckon with and I'm happy that mo ganu sí part yẹn pé you know that their expertise nothing can work with it. In fact AI gan ò lè ṣiṣẹ́ táwọn people yẹn ṣe because knowledge wọn náà so a lot of them are also getting to understand that there is more with Yoruba language. In fact, àwọn olóṣèlú wa gan kò tí ì yé wọn.
Kò tí ì yé wọn, ṣùgbọ́n yìí máa yé wọn. Wọ́n yìí bọ̀ wá yé wọn, but yes, I think one that is like a Yoruba graduate or newly getting into uni studying Yoruba, you guys are very privileged.
In fact, wọ́n lucky gan.
Ẹ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ orí ń pè wow. At least the time you are in is a time when Yoruba will get you to lots of places.
Yeah. So ó dà pé gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni mo ti sọ ń ṣókí yẹn.
Mo tún yìí ń bọ̀ wá bí n sọ àmọ́ yín gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni olùdásílẹ̀ ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ olùṣẹ̀dá fọ́nrán ẹ ti ṣèwé ẹ tún jẹ́ bí tech founder, custodian of culture, networker, salesperson. Ṣùgbọ́n kí iṣẹ́ lè tọ́ka sí ìgbà kan àbí nǹkan kan tó mú máa lọ ṣe máa ń pè that passion for Yorùbá wá sí ọkàn yín. Perhaps when you were very young, at a very young age, or like at what point was it like, I really appreciate this culture for whatever reason it was?
I think that was when I was 13.
Okay. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà yẹn?
So I was in GS3 when I was 13. So mo rántí ngbà yẹn a fẹ́ ṣe ojúde ọba. And daddy mi lecturer ni wọ́n. So ojúde ọba yẹn ti wá ṣe wọ́n ó clash pẹ̀lú ìjọ tó yẹ ká lọ sí school. Wọ́n ní exam ǹjọ́ yẹn. And I was telling my dad pé tó bá jẹ́ pé mo sick tí mo lè ṣe exam teacher yẹn máa tún exam ṣe fún mi. Ṣé get nǹkan tí mo ń sọ? So mo need láti dúró ṣe ojúde ọba. Mo need láti dúró. So daddy mi kàn wò mí wọ ọ́fíìsì. And ibi tọ́lọ́run tún ti wá ṣe fún mi, it was going to be intro tech.
Which you were good at, right?
Which I was good at. And daddy mi dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ọmọ yìí mọ intro tech. In fact, ibi tí mo mọ intro tech dé, tẹ́ bá fún mi the scene, màá jókòó màá ní A1. She get. So sometimes I'm gonna joke ó dẹ̀ lọ ṣe architect but ibi tó rí dání lèèyàn gbé. So nígbà yẹn I now told my dad pé daddy ẹ̀yin ní lecture àbí tẹ́ gbọ́dọ̀ lọ fún ẹ máa lọ èmi ò ń wọ bus wá bá yín lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. So my dad looked at me wọ bus rí and God so made it my dad's junior brother Mustok àwọn wà nínú àwọn rẹ́gbẹ́rẹ́gbẹ́. So tó bá dẹ̀ ti gbọ́n ojúde ọba kìnnì kan so it was like but that me ẹ máa lọ máa gbé wálé. So I was happy to miss an exam for ojúde ọba. So I think that was when I kind of understood that what mo fẹ́ tẹ̀lé àwọn ẹlẹ́ṣin I can't miss it.
You place a priority on it somehow and say, okay, this is more important to me to the point of missing an exam that I'm good at, I'm prepared for. Okay, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I ṣe exam later though ìgbà tí mo dé school rògbòdìyàn yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ because ó lọ́rẹ́ mi kan Idris Olisa àwọn ọmọ Olisa ní Níjẹ̀bú Òde. So òun náà ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú ni and the funny part àwa náà la máa tún lọ ń kó bára wa. So after every Iléyá our classmates will be like, oh, so tell us how did it happen? So a máa jẹ́ kí class wa rowdy. Check it. So èmi àti Idris àdẹ̀gbọ́n excuse tèmi gbé kalẹ̀ náà ni.
Excuse tẹ̀gbẹ́ kalẹ̀ kí lẹ́lẹ́ ń ṣe ara ní ìyá.
Mo lọ rárá mi ò yá ni. Idris náà tún ní ara wọn ò yá. Ìgbà tó wá di ijọ́ kejì, a wá sí class, à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ojú ìjọba. Class ti wà Saudi. Again, so it was like, so one of our teachers that was also Ìjẹ̀bú, but tóun ò ṣiṣẹ́ mọ̀, kò sí nǹkan tó kàn, ìyẹn ló wá ká tó ṣe 2+2 yẹn. Ní pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí torí ojú ìjọba exam, you know. But all fine and good. And I'm happy even today that right now he's actually an Ashiwaju of his particular place, Nijebu. I can't remember. And I went for his coronation, funny enough. You know, and I made jest of it, you know, and he was like, oh, boy, you gbagbe nkan.
I trust that. So let's come to Yetunde. Yetunde has this beautiful tagline, creating Yoruba love stories. And honestly, for me, that is so romantic. I love that tagline. But anyhow, it works. It so works. So I know that's your ambition. You want to create your Yoruba love stories. That's the way you, right now, but in any other projects, especially in the line of culture. But that creating Yoruba stories, ever means already any Okay,
so ẹ má gbàgbé pé lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ obìnrin ló yí mi ká. So ó dẹ̀ ní àdúrà kan tí máa ń gbà fáwọn èèyàn. Èmi náà mò ń ṣèyàn tó jẹ́ pé ó dọ́gba tó yẹn. That word dọ́gba, I'm trying to say I'm not what is the word? Mò ń ṣèyàn tó pé.
Perfect, like right.
Ṣé kẹ́tì kan tí mò ń sọ? Gbàdúrà tí máa ń gbà fáwọn obìnrin ni pé k'Ọlọ́run fún ẹ ní ọkùnrin. A kúrò lẹ́ẹ̀mejì kó tó ṣe àwa ọkùnrin. We're very complicated human beings. You know, we are not as straightforward as a lot of women are. Ṣé get nǹkan tí mò ń sọ? We're very complicated. But àdúrà tí máa ń gbà fún àwọn obìnrin tí bá pàdé ni pé k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ ẹ jẹ́yàn tó yẹ pé a máa rò nǹkan lẹ́ẹ̀mejì lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta kó tó ṣe.
Àbí clock it lunch, clock it yeah, pàtẹ́wọ́ mọ́. Ìjọba mi clock ele torí unnecessary. Yeah.
So, you know, so while growing up, while doing all of that, you know.
I feel like by women, you said too complicated. Like honestly, and our men are simple is a lie. Men are complicated. And complicated you like hands down. You guys are complicated psychologically.
Yeah, we're complicated. I mean, for example, you a lot of people will say, I want more like obìnrin máa ń ro nǹkan wọ́n máa rò lẹ́ẹ̀mejì rò lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta ṣe kíní kan. And I say actually it's actually a good thing. I'm not saying this for the camera, you know, I'm not saying this for the camera. I'm saying it because Adura, at least you know me, these are the conversations we've had behind closed door. And when people tell me, oh, I'm looking for a God-fearing man, oof, Olodo.
No, but we have got there. The thing is, I don't knock it anymore. Before, honestly, there was a time that it was such a trope that Zimbabwe, I'm looking for God, I would roll my eyes. But sharing what I saw, to me, the ìtumọ̀ of God-fearing man, ẹni tó máa ro nǹkan lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. Tó kàn ní ní dá àbàjẹ́ àbí kẹ́nìkan sọ̀rọ̀ sí lórúkọ dẹ̀ ṣe. Like think about it, wàá fi rọrẹ wò, wàá fi rẹni tó wà pẹ̀lú wò, wàá tún tiẹ̀ ro tọ́lọ́run gan pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, wàá like so, wàá ro tọmọ, wàá ro ti family, like that is kéèyàn máa ro nǹkan lẹ́ẹ̀mejì kọjá ẹni tó tiẹ̀ àròtúnrò díẹ̀. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Shemo, I think one of the reasons why I don't agree with that God-fearing is because that's an abuser. So when you say it from the Nigerian term, I know what you're saying. So I'm always like, Korelo. Lo wa into ẹ pé tó bá bá sọ̀rọ̀. Tó bá sọ nípa báwo ni ibo lórí rẹ̀ lọ́dún méjì mẹ́ta. Kó rò lẹ́ẹ̀mejì kó tó sọ, kó rò lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta ọmọ. In fact, I always tell people I would prefer you saying you don't know than you trying to cook up something. You know, but tell me the reason why you don't know. She gets. So yebe. So ọlá pé mo súnmọ́ obìnrin. Ìyẹn ti jẹ́ kí n ganu sí àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé ojú obìnrin máa ń rí. She get nǹkan tí mo ń sọ. And nígbà tí mo tún wá dàgbà tán, there's a little bit of political side also. Because mo wà lára àwọn tó jẹ́ pé mo gbà unless tá bá tún gbogbo ẹ̀ka. You know, Bọ́lá Ìgè náà máa ń sọ ní pé Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ Yorùbá is the biggest ethnic group in Africa. Some so Yorùbá nupe o, Yorùbá kini kan o. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn tó ń gbé Yorùbá. Mo fẹ́ listen pa wà ethnic group tó tóbi jù. Àti gbénlẹ̀ Haúsá rí, àwọn àtàwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ ti gbénlẹ̀ Haúsá, àmọ́ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣe get. Nígbà tá a ṣe máa ń wọ̀ ní fúta, ọmọ àṣẹ pé ó ski wìwì ni. So I think the English people will call it a mirage. They get it, so we know what is happening, and I just felt like also the different conferences I've attended. I think one of those conferences actually, Itajolo, there was a woman.
Okay.
There was a woman at that table who was trying to matchmake me for her daughter.
But then you know, I'm fine, but
sort of fine. Or
true, yes, but
yeah, ìgbà tó wá jókòó ṣe mọ̀ mo sún síìtì fún wọn, at the time wọ́n fẹ́ lọ toilet mommy ẹ má worry ma ṣàmàlà lẹ máa jẹ lọ́ba dé, when she came mommy wọn tí fún yín lómi ìṣanwó ẹ jẹ́ bá yín lọ gbé. So I think it was more of ọmọlúwàbí if you're asking me.
méjèèjì all join.
And that's one of the reasons why you even see me, I'm wearing 2 rings now, is because I'm trying to learn to keep rings, because one of the issues that also happened then is that so ìgbà tá a ṣègbéyàwó wedding ring mẹ́ta níyàwó mi ti rà tí mo ti sọnù. So even this one, funny enough, this one I just got it last week. This one I just got it last month. Èyí tí mo mú lọ sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mo ti sọnù. So she got tired of it, and it's because tí bá fẹ́ jàmàlà mo gbọ́dọ̀ jàmàlà yẹn pẹ̀lú ọwọ́ mi ò ní lo ṣíbí. Tí bá dẹ̀ tí wàá fi sọ́wọ́ òsì náà, nítorí mo wá láti Islamic background, tí bá fẹ́ ṣègbọ̀nsẹ̀ màá tún yọ. So a lot of times it's either go chapel WC tí mo ní lè mú mọ́, àbí kí n gbàgbé ẹ̀ sílé ibi tí mo ti jàmàlà. It's one of the two. Ṣé get it kan tí mo sọ? So at that moment, nígbà tí mo wà ní event yẹn, ó jẹ́ kí n rí pé tí kò yẹn bá le tó yìí tí ìyá yẹn ṣe báyìí, how difficult is this problem? And that conference was over 5 years ago, right? So that just made me pay attention. And the woman, funny enough, I actually matchmaked her daughter with one of my guys. Funny enough, one of my guys was single, and they ended up getting married. So through me, personally, I have 8 marriages.
Just personally through you.
Personally through me.
Well, matchmaker mi náà mo ti ẹjọ́ bá mi bẹ̀ Mr. Oloko ń pé kọ́ matchmaker mi náà ń wá.
Ẹ ti ṣe àwọn akọ́mọ̀ tí wọ́n kẹ́ wá rí mi.
Ẹ mọ̀ pé bespoke lèmi ń wá. So mi ò máa ní sùúrù ń pé tẹ́ bá ti rẹ́ni náà mo ti mọ̀ pé tẹ́ bá ti ní ẹni báyìí ni. And you are correct. After wearing, so no shaking.
Yeah. Ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Owó náà rà ni wọ́n ń gbé bọ̀. So I think ìyẹn ló jẹ́ ìṣípayá fún mi láti rò ó pé a ní láti wá nǹkan ṣe sí. Then the more tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo jápa syndrome yìí náà ń jáde, the more bá ṣe wá rí pé ibi ìkíní yìí ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ní àsìkò yìí. And tẹ́ bá tún wá jókòó kẹrù dáadáa. Ìgbà táwa dé diaspora almost 14-15 years ago, ara àwọn èèyàn wa tó jẹ́ pé kò sí clear path láti gbàwé. Ṣẹ̀gẹ́t àwọn ẹlòmíì kẹ̀dẹ̀rí torí wọ̀ tí ẹ̀ ṣẹ́dẹ̀ mọ̀ Yorùbá máa ń pòwe kan, nǹkan tí mo ṣe ń blame àwọn ẹlòmíì gbà nìyẹn. Yorùbá máa ń sọ pé ẹni téèyàn bá súnmọ́ lèèyàn jarun pálù. Tó wà lára nǹkan tá a ṣe build Yétúndé ń pé jókòó rò ń pé at least let's make it easy for Yoruba people to find each other. Let's try our best. And this is an avenue to help everybody, including yourself. In fact, tí mo bá fẹ́ dárúkọ, kó má dà pé mi ò ní dárúkọ àwọn èèyàn, ẹ jẹ́ kí n wo tí bá lè rántí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Wáṣeré, Máṣóyìnbó, Yorùbá Pikin, ẹ̀yin, Sister Fadérẹra, Yorùbá Diwúrà, Ẹ̀gbọ́n Lálá ṣẹ́rí, as in kò sígbà tẹ́gbọ́n Lálá máa rí post wa tán ní fi sórí Instagram stories wọn. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Lálá, olùkọ́ Dàmọ́lá Ṣèyí fún mi, Yoruba chick. I mean, a lot of people on Instagram. Egbe, I think Yoruba Forest. You know, Yoruba Atland. A lot of people. To jẹ́ pé tọ́ba ìjọ tí mo ti pè wọ́n tí mo tẹ̀mọ̀ tí mo sọ fún pa I'm build up kan tó ń jẹ́ Yetunde dating app money because according to Awata Dale we believe is the most important dating app for Yoruba people in this century. Kò sí nǹkan tó ṣe pàtàkì jù. Because like I said, there's a political side that we are trying to solve. You look at the Chinese today, you look at the US today, you look at Russia today. It's because of their numbers. So we need to make it easy for our láti pàdé olólùfẹ́.
And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter in which diaspora. Like now, so we have the recent diaspora, Awata and Bay. You know, we're the most recent. But when the old diaspora, when identify with Yoruba from Brazil, Haiti, whatever, is there an avenue for them to also be part of that milieu?
Oh, Atabashi have been for Yoruba, Cuba, Yoruba, Mexico,
Amazing.
Yoruba, Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, only on don't chat work, but don't chat Belua. And them bua so only about so Portuguese, Monima Bino, more Yami, ni Bino ni.
Your balance on the.
But I understand if you told him,
of course.
Arithmetic.
Yeah.
But,
and I trust you will get there, you know, because it will keep evolving, right?
Benny, investor and work, come on, phone and see me.
Ọlọ́run tiẹ̀ ti fún yín ẹ má worry Ọlọ́run ti fún yín. So kí ni ẹ máa wá sọ fáwọn tó ní ẹ̀dẹ́ o ẹ̀yin culture bias prejudice gbogbo ẹ̀ nǹkan I'm sure that ẹ ti rí gbọ́ níbì kan tó ti ń challenge pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ and is this the right time to be, you know, sort of segregating yourselves? Kí ni ẹ̀yin máa fèsì fún wọn?
Nítorí àwa lórí kíní yìí ń sìn, I'll have to give a diplomatic answer.
No, we don't do diplomacy here. Give it to us as it is. That's not who
I don't care.
That's fair enough.
I don't care. Bí ọ̀rọ̀ MKO Abiola tẹ́ bá lọ gbọ́ gbà tí Sunny Adé ń kọrin fún. Ó ní kò ní kélégún má gbégún. So and tẹ́ni náà bá jẹ́ Yorùbá, I calm down to reply. If I get, I'll be like, what is son Nija Fapada? So then no baje Yoba. What I say is, we're not telling you not to fall in love with anybody you want to fall in love with. But what we are just saying is, Ijo to ba ronu nikpe omo ele koma omo ele omo mi give from Yoba mabo. As obìnrin ìjọ tó bá wù pé àwọn ẹ̀sà téèyàn kan dẹ̀ máa ń fún àwọn boys yẹn.
Àwọn ìsàlẹ̀ mo máa ń sọ fáwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi kò yé wọn tẹ́lẹ̀. Kò yé wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ bọ́ nísìnyí ó ti ń bọ̀ ó ti ń yé wọn díẹ̀.
You know there was a girl, I think Instagram, àwọn below 18 ò lè lo Instagram àbí?
Is it 18? Maybe slightly lower. The age limit.
Ẹjọ àwa mélòó la wà ń bí báyìí? I can't.
Let me go like I'll be
Good. So I think the network is bad at my end. Anyways, so you know there was a girl that went viral on Twitter, and she wrote a topic. I can't remember. Why should you be? How come you're speaking Yoruba while having sex? She wrote it not. If you read her write up, it wasn't negative, but it was something that happened. I don't know if it happened to her, but I don't know if it happened to her friends, and they found themselves speaking Yoruba while having sex. And guess what? I have a very, very lovely female friend. Her name is Omolade. Omolade might drag me if she's here. She'll be like, guys, I can't.
Omolade, come and drag us.
I and Omolade, we had this conversation. That's about. So we had this conversation about 5 years ago. Like, èmi ò azọkùnrin Yorùbá ibi tẹ́bi tẹ́lẹ̀ ayé tèmi ti dé o tó wá fẹ́ gbé mi síbẹ̀ táwa ti wọn yàrá kejì ṣáà máa bá mi sọ Yorùbá inú mi á dùn ara mi á tutù ṣe gẹ́tì kan tí mo sọ màá ṣàdúrà fún ẹ.
èmi lórúkọ fàmí ní rúbọ́ọ̀dù.
ṣe gẹ́tì So while we were saying it, she's a little bit Gen Z. So she just looked at me and she was like, you know. And guess what? She was the first person 5 years later. She was one that saw it on Twitter and she sent it to me and she said, Sake, she calls me Sake. She said, Sake, you only saw it earlier. Thank you. Because a lot of things I'd said 5 years ago, even between me and you, she gets, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I said 5 years, 6 years ago, Owa Mushe, Lodun, and she's like, what the hell? So Mwabe Lowe, money, oh, funny enough, 5 years later, she now laughed. She said, no comment. I'll call you in the evening.
You come.
And when she now called, because the reason why she wanted to call was, you know, sometimes I want to look on what koni dake type. So she now called me. Where Sake, make I no like give you. It don't happen to me too.
No, but honestly, it is true because if you have been spoken to, again, I always say this won't be the first time I've said it, like your language, it goes to your heart. A language you know goes to your head. So imagine at that intimate time, someone speaking that language to you, and many people, because of the way so what it perpetuates inferiority of our languages and indigenous languages, including Yoruba. Most people will feel that you know, please, any 18 and above will just try it once.
Let's try it once. Oh my wife
Therefore, try. A trial will convince them. English in the other room more. That is the lot.
There is nothing as good as as a guy, you'll be like, yeah. Alpha, Shama Malamayo. You get what I mean? So that's what I tell you about people that see. I'm not saying you're free to fall in love with anybody, but you just about to reach you know what? I think I want a Káyọ, or I think I want a Bingpe, or I think I want a Shola. You know, I then come and download the Yetunde app. Unfortunately, telling you about Yoruba to Baba Miso, I'll just be like, okay. Like I was in a plane when I went to Nigeria. I was traveling from Abuja to Lagos, so I wore Yetunde, and a lot of people talk about Yetunde Lorun. The first thing they ask is, "Oh, is this a clothing brand?" So I tell them like, oh no, it's actually a dating app for Yoruba people. And when I say it, I told someone and she looked at me like that. I was like, oh, that's actually tribalist. And I was like, oh yeah, I know. Thank you.
So can I follow up with a question on that? So are there active steps you take to prevent people from other cultures from joining the app? What's the record? How do you recognize a Yoruba person? We share our followers doing for we no be Yoruba our Yoruba tangential in Orange Johnson, we're coming to that one because there's another question why the name is today. But now I want to know, what is the recognition? How does your app recognize any is Yoruba, any is not Yoruba, and to keep out the outsiders in quotes?
So ever to Diabajoa.
I need to bury now. I need to bury. Kabali Mongwe, verified people, Yoruba people,
So once you're coming into Yetunde, it asks you for an ID verification. A lot of people, Dawa and diaspora, some, you know, actually not a lot of people. Sorry. Emma Binujari. So a lot of people, especially our Koni, say one complicated. Our Koni no man biju. Tomawasi in inbox. Why do you want verification? Even Tinder does not verify. and we are like, Tiwa Yewa, we say no to fishing. In case there's anybody who doesn't know what fishing is it means you claiming you're Káyọ̀dé, but actually your name is Shola. So we say no to that, and the only way we can process that is through ID verification. And I've noticed that when you're gonna take people more ganu see get bàbá dẹ̀ ti ní ọmọ bíi mẹ́rin lé àti gbogbo ẹ̀, so tó bá ti rí ID verification bàbá kan wá ṣe kí ni ó máa
tún lẹ̀. Oh, and by the way, thank you, July by Omei Esheo. Thank you, I appreciate. Thank you very much.
Kí ló sọ ẹ jọ̀wọ́ lẹ̀ bí.
Only host, you look beautiful as usual. Okay, I'm blushing. Oh, please let me beg him to find me. But anyway, so your verification process, Lumanja can more anytime I approve of the app or otherwise.
The app actually just does it itself.
Yeah. Oh, automatically. Okay. Yeah. And so let's come to my other commenters question. Why the name Yetunde?
So there are two reasons, and we'll keep doing. There are 5 reasons, but I'm going to only say 2.
Okay.
Because last year artificial competition Igba Valentine, so Valentine tomboy, I'm artificial competition.
Okay, for people to keep guessing. Because I'm a guess, Lord, but tell us, give us some insight.
Until you guess it right, they will give you 500,000. So 2 of the reasons is one is Yoruba farabalẹ̀ dáadáa arimu. So teba farabalẹ̀ telo won't ba nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Yorùbá. Ẹ rí àwọn iṣẹ́ takuntakun táwọn obìnrin Yorùbá ti ṣe. So we wanted to use that to give kudos to Yoruba women.
Okay.
So that's Yetunde. 2, the percentage of people we have, the percentage of the women we have now inside of Yetunde, I swear Tinder cannot boast of having that much women. Cannot, in terms of black women trusting a dating app. I doubt if Tinder can prove it. We beat them there. Because next time I build the Yetunde, our research that showed us that black women run away from dating app. If you check out from the whole continent, race, I want to download dating app, black women are the least. So that was why we came up with the fact that in Kotoba build, Toba Bito Vito Binishe, Untora Enyo, especially Yoruba. And that's the reason why for every Yoruba woman that hears the word Yetunde, she trusts it already. So it's a name they familiarize with.
Also the meaning of the name again.
Yeah. So when you hear Yetunde, you're like, what the hell did you guys do? In fact, a lot of the brands.
Let me just interrupt for people that don't know. What does the name Yetunde mean? Does story Aleni? I want to Yoruba.
So to the best of my knowledge, it means the reincarnation of a woman.
Benny.
And now this brings me back to an interesting point. Yes. I think this is the first time I'm going to explain it in public. Do you know, a lot of times, research Tashi, this was done by Washere. We found out, Nigbeti mother-in-law in Obaku, whether you are the man or the woman, Tiya in Obaku, àwọn Yorùbá automatically someone in Yetunde.
Okay.
The only reason to magba ni pé ìyàwó ọkọ ẹ̀ kú ó wá fẹ́ sọ ọmọ òun Yetunde is because tíya yẹn bá nice ni o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí kò fẹ́ kí ìyá tí ò nice so yíya yẹn má tún dé wọn kó máa lọ tààrà.
So you can see the power in the name Yetunde. I mean in the name. So
the word matriarch is the one that gets to be honored by that name. Okay.
So it's either the man's woman, the man's mother was an amazing person, or the wife's mother was an amazing person. If not, this is historical. bàbá yẹn gan á wò pé ìyá ẹ̀ ló ṣaláìsí lọ́dún tó kọjá kí wá sọmọ mi Yétúndé kọ́ ó tí o ṣe get so it also tells how important it is ṣe get on how continuation of love continues in a family, so those were some of the things we thought about that we won't pay. You know what, there's no better name. Even Alarino does not beat it. It has to be Yetunde.
Yes. And yeah, but the full name was Yetunde Alarino. It's Yetunde Alarino because, again, for people who don't know, Alarino is our own traditional way of matchmaking and facilitating the union between families, because directly, so they had to go through a middle person that would then make the introduction through the families, through the larger families, before even maybe involving the couple sometimes. So that's where Alarino comes from. So the app is called Yetunde Alarino. I don't remember if phase out Alarino or if it's still there, but Yetunde is the brand that is very recognizable, right? The brand name.
Yeah. Just to push it in, just to point out, it was also from the research we were doing. Àwọn askari, àwọn tó pé kí ló kàn wọ́n follow norms of the society. Back then also, even though wàá rá àwọn ọmọ yẹn ẹlòmíì á lọ mo máa rọ́mọ yẹn, we've even watched movies like that from Shaworo Ide, from Oleku, was a story that happened, way back. She get it, and you will see that, nígbà táwọn ọmọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí lọ sílé ìwé gan, àwọn ọkùnrin on my walk-ups, she gets, as the society grew, Olaju came. But even irrespective of you coming, you know what? Now, even if you tell the boyfriend, girlfriend, ijo teba lo pade family yawo, there is someone that plays the role of an Alarino.
Absolutely, yeah. I think in my own case, where it was an inter-ethnic union, there was someone that knew the groom's family and also knew the bride's family that served as that connector. Ease things on both sides and is familiar with both sides. So, and what would you say was the benefit of something like that? No, to have that person that would serve as a conduit between two families.
Even till now, one of the best advantages is a marrying of a Johnson. I mean, only Matiju and one in Lue, Kumalife Soro, Sibitoro. Yala Ojokunrin, abi Yala Ojobinrin. But the fact that that person, Walok Bejoba. So that's one of the key importance of those people. They are part of the member, like they are part of your family. And it's not just no, it's a grand.
So then want to say some of that everybody, but they would obviously be invested as well in the success of that union that they helped to broker.
In fact, we now notice that sometimes this is also historical research that in Kotawan, our godfather, godmother, god kinikan, a lot of the Alarinos back then were godfathers, godmothers to those parents, those kids that those families, ended up having.
Thank you. So I want to divert slightly. I know we've talked about the app and as it relates to like the intricacies of couple relationships. But obviously, maybe I don't know how well people know you. People who are watching us right now. But that matchmaking, that app derived somewhat naturally from your own abilities, networking, relationships, people, your people skills, essentially. So, báwo ni ẹ feeling pé the rest of us who are not naturally as talented as you can develop better relationship skills, whether within our the couple unit, the family unit, or even larger society? Báwo la ṣe lè ṣe láti mo bá ṣe lè máa bára wa ṣe ìbáṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú the genders, the family, just in all spheres of life. Kí ni nǹkan kan tàbí méjì àbí mẹ́ta?
That's a very tough one. It's a very tough one. Because ẹ má gbàgbé nǹkan táwọn olóyìnbó ṣe láwọn kan tó jẹ́ pé wà introverted nìyẹn. So like I said, I'm not one of those that force people to be like, these are the steps you need to take. It has to be something inbuilt. But like I said, Maya Angelou will say, it's okay for you to do whatever you're doing, but the day you know better, you do better. So tó bá jẹ́ lára àwọn èèyàn yẹn tó wò máa pé ó má dẹ̀ wù mí kémi náà open up pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn. I think the biggest secret I'll tell people is just be a good person. Be a nice person. Like just be nice. She gets it, so like just be you. Like, just be nice. That's all.
Be you, be nice. Honestly, I like it. Succinct, but clear enough. Be you, be nice. Be your true self and be nice. So now, particularly on apps, and I don't know Boya Ellis Bowers or see there with the specificity of your own apps. Cherry, I'm also, to come out a bit, I'm a woman in my 40s, newly entering the dating scene, right? And
wait, you're in your 40s?
Yeah, I know, I look 18, right? But I just very well.
Wait, I don't know. I think you're in your 40s. No, jokes apart, serious.
I am in my 40s. I am in my 40s. Okay, let me. I bet one minute.
Behind closed doors.
Oh, okay, it's camera for that, so sidebar. But really, I am newly entering the dating, the app thing, and I have to admit, like, there are lots of people that seem to want serious relationships, but not the more. Báwo you from behind the back end, how do you deduce these are serious people, these are like maybe your man reporting when serious? Is this something you've noticed on your app or versus other apps? And also, what is the advice that you would give women like me about avoiding entanglement on serious people that may be on serious from your own male perspective, your own male point of view? Àwọn nǹkan kan méjì mẹ́ta wo ló lè tọ́ka sí pé ó dá ọ ẹni yìí o lè fún láyè díẹ̀ kó wo bó ṣe ń lọ àbélé ṣáà rárá gbàgbé lè sá. Pick your heels and run away. So yeah, it's a two-pronged question.
Ẹ ṣáà kàn ń ju àwọn question tó mú mi ronú.
Lémi tí rí mímú mọ́lẹ̀ bọ̀ mo ní láti ju question sí yín o.
So lálàkọ̀kọ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ Yetunde. So nínú Yetunde, you can report people for stalking. You can report people for using offensive words. You can report people for being disrespectful. I can't smile from.
But you can't report them for you can't report them for seriousness. Simply at any at the time chat láti joy kò tiẹ̀ kọnu sí dates kò ṣe like what are the facilities we have to make sure that things are moving well. Tọ́ra ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin yẹn lè máa sọ hello beautiful láàárọ̀, good night beautiful nírọ̀lẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ mọ̀ pé kò lọ síbi kankan kan wá ìyẹn náà ni. So how do we?
So ṣé ẹ sì ń gbọ́?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Apologies, but I'm sure I'll be back soon. I hope his phone hasn't died. Thank you for being with us so far. We will sit tight while it comes back and our conversation continues. I hope so far you've been liking our interaction. Keep the questions and the comments coming through for us so that if there's anything I haven't got on my question list, we can throw them to Mr. Oloko, who has generously given us his presence today. So, Esheon for being with us. Ẹ lọ fúngbà díẹ̀ omi ò mọ̀ bóyá ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀, so now you're back, ó yẹ dá ìbéèrè méjì yẹn.
No, ẹ má bínú, mo láwọn èèyàn kan because we still do manual matchmaking. So
Okay.
I had so my PA was calling me that we have a matchmaking that we're meant to do at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So I told her to give me 25 more minutes. So
We'll try to wrap up within that time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So thank you for mentioning that. We actually do not have where people can report for unseriousness, but we have where people can report for stalking, offensive use of language, and what is the word again? There are about 2 other ones, Timmy or Roti.
Okay, no worry. I'll download that. So now to the second part of my question. Oh yeah.
So you're looking for red flags, right?
Yes. Okay. In fact, let me just give you the question this way. So, pop culture, or our culture, modern culture, paints our Yoruba men as heartbreakers in Agbada. The popular term Yoruba demon, right? Are they, so first of all, are they hiding on your app too? One. And two, how do we avoid the demon sides of these people? Because when Yoruba angels, no, wow, you'll get any by Yoruba angels, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn Yorùbá demon yẹn, àwọn demon yẹn, àwọn tó demon gan yẹn, báwo la ṣe máa avoid wọn? Ẹ fún àwọn obìnrin ní pointers ń pé báyìí o.
First and foremost, I'm not a Yoruba angel. Don't get it.
Angeli tó jábọ́ látọ̀run lẹ́yìn, angeli ni.
I'm not going to leave my brothers hanging. I'm going to play someone like them.
Okay. So, let's put it this way, because me and you, we've had lots of conversations in private, right, about how the Yoruba demon needs to be somewhat reclaimed, because we know that the Yoruba demon has lots of positive attributes that women like. There are some negative ones, but they also derive somewhat from the positive ones. So I think maybe the psyche of the Yoruba demon and why you proudly claim to be one of them.
So this is the reason why I'm saying I'm not going to leave my brothers hanging. I'm not going to leave them hanging. I know the women might be like, but it's part of the miseducation, right? So, who is a Yoruba demon? A Yoruba demon sometimes also need clarity, right? To be candid, I feel like there are more advantages of a Yoruba demon than disadvantages.
I agree, actually. I do agree.
But I ask you, is King Sunny Ade a Yoruba demon? What do you think?
I would say every Yoruba man is a Yoruba demon.
So I ask people, Sherry, Igbalode has also affected this conversation. Because then, you have a King Sunny Ade that married 5 wives. And you have a Wizkid and a Davido that have baby mamas. Some, they are not even, I think Davido does not even talk to, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I'm thinking, he said Davido ni to ekpe ko tie to mo kan, abi ko tie fe ro mo kankan, Abi what and lock court. She get. So I feel like it's been a case of misplaced priority, and I really feel like it still boils down to how Yoruba parents bring out their kids. She gets it, got him also. And this also comes to the conversation Timo saw earlier. Nípa fẹ́yìn obìnrin, mo máa ń gbàdúrà pé kẹ́ ní ọkùnrin tẹ́kù máa ronú lẹ́ẹ̀mejì àbẹ́mẹ́ta kó tó ṣe nǹkan. So I ask once again, and this is also a conversation we've had. I've even spoken to Washiri about it, and it's something he's also looking forward to clarify. That when and how did Yoruba people started calling polygamy Ile Olurogun? That wasn't the word that was used before. There was no such word as polygamy Nile Yoruba. And all of it today is being tagged Ile Olurogun. But guess what? My grandmother, who died like 10 years ago, about let's say 90 years ago, right? She got married to my grandfather. I mean, let's say 50 years ago, or no, let's say 70 years ago, she got married to my grandfather, right? Would she have gotten married to my grandfather if it was termed Ile Olurogun? I don't know if you are doing the math.
No, I get what you're saying, but you know what? That's another. See, I have to see. They saw Boba questions in 3 hours. So more okay, time is going to. But you know, this conversation, I really wanted you to clarify that Yoruba masculinity, particularly the term and the identity Yoruba demon. Right. What is a Yoruba? Who is a Yoruba demon? What are its positive attributes? What are its negative attributes? So
let me say this. I think this is me. I'll just envelope a Yoruba demon as a Yoruba man. That's me being candid.
But what is that thing that people recognize as the demon side of? Like, I have a few, but I don't want to lead you. I have a few. I can check it with you and see if you agree.
No. I can throw out. So when you say a Yoruba man, an average Yoruba man right now who is successful, he has swag.
Number one, swag. And swag is nothing to be ashamed of. Oh, please. Yoruba men and swag are white and rice.
So right now, yesterday or 2 days ago, I saw a video where they were talking about black American actors that people thought were American, but they were actually non-American. They had 3 Yoruba boys there. They had Damson Idris. Then they had 2 other guys. I can't even remember. And 3 of them were Yoruba boys out of 5.
Okay, so swag. But you have another one. Swag, number 1, and that one is a big one. In fact, any people, if you guys are in doubt, go and ask other African women, particularly here, why they are running after our Nigerian Yoruba men. So there's swag. What else is there?
There is confidence.
Confidence.
Because I'm Yoruba. Like the blood of my ancestors run through me.
So that cultural pride, and also you look good. So of course you're gonna exude confidence. So too.
Even Obafemi, it was talking about it a couple of days ago. Like
yes, but I told you to send. Did I tell you to send me that reel because I wanted to share it on my social media. I sent it out. Maybe I forwarded it on. I'm not sure, but yeah, I need to try it.
So it's just like a Yoruba woman. So would you?
Stay on point. So yeah, swag. Okay, so swag, confidence. How about when you?
Yeah, I'm coming on. The 3rd one, a Yoruba demon is a lover boy.
Thank you. Honestly,
the lover boy.
They love bomb to the point of love bombing, but I'm gonna love bombing. Yeah, we love their love bombing. They are very expressive when it comes to love. So because they will so like they are so expressive, they will make it known that they are the only one they are seeing. So now let's come straight away.
So one for
the high level.
One for the jokes. This is one for the jokes. They are they will make a very good manager or president because they know how to multitask.
they multitask, and not only do they also know how to multitask, they somehow have an awareness of how to manage women. I don't know how they know. I think they've studied women's weak points. Maybe they've apprenticed under their mothers back on one more. Nǹkan tó yẹ káwọn ṣe bóyá torí obìnrin bá ń gbóná máa ṣe ara máa bá gbórí ẹ̀ wálẹ̀. They know all of that, so I understand. They will love bomb you till signs become wonders. July by Omega. Clock it. They will love bomb you till signs seriously become wonders. So see, so those 4-5 high level things, right, already seems to make a complete package, man. Now, let's go to the negatives. Unfaithfulness being number one.
And
they are making you feel being paid one in color during you want queen, you want gbogbo ẹ̀. You feel that same feeling you are getting. They are making 10 other women feel that same feeling. Please, how do you people have capacity?
Ẹ̀yin lẹ́sàn yẹn kò ń ṣe mí o.
Èmi ń tọ̀ yẹn out sí yín pé báà lẹ ṣe ní capacity ń pé ẹ máa make 10 different women feel like they are the only woman in the world. How do you do that? Like, where does that capacity come from?
Tíyàwó mi bá wọlé ń sìn, ìjọba pé question yẹn jù sí mi ni. So tẹ́mi bá dáhùn question yẹn ń sìn, á wá sínú àtàlà wọn.
Remember that you are not going to abandon your brothers. So please come and speak for your brothers. Speak for your brothers.
I think the negative side is that they are too in love with Yoruba women. That's what I would say.
Okay.
That's the negativity. They are too. Look at for example, Sherry Kinikon. I wouldn't say that one.
Say it. We're not dragging you. You always
example. Let me give you an example. Look at MKO Abiola. Multiple wives. Right? But the problem was Baba just didn't know where to put a stop to it. So, and don't forget, I want you no man so too much of everything is bad. Toba momi ju kò dáfara, toba jẹun ju kò dáfara, toba nífẹ̀ẹ́ obìnrin ju kò dáfara. So I think it is that tendency of ọ̀kánjúwà. Kí ni ọ̀kánjúwà ní English?
Greed.
Yes, it is. So the negative side is it's the greed. You know, there's a time you need to just, bro, come on. Colors.
Good enough.
Enough is enough. So I get to continue so. But like I said, one of the things I would just say is Igbalode not a lot of things, because then I like to ask people, what is the difference between Sonia Ade, you know, who married 5 wives, and Davido, who has different baby mamas? Is that positive? Which one is more positive to you? Which one is more negative? And guess what? You see some people today who still say, I don't think see Davido, yeah, even though he has 3 single mothers, I mean 3 single baby mamas. She gets for each his own.
Òun ṣàti ẹ̀ ti marry àwọn kan ti ẹ̀ marry rárá. Ṣebí Davido ó ṣàyìfẹ́ Chioma àbí? But
lẹ́yìn Chioma, yẹ̀wọ̀n pé rògbòdìyàn méjì tún ti já síta. Ilẹ̀kẹ̀ má já sílé, ilẹ̀kẹ̀ má já síta, ibì kan ní ilẹ̀kẹ̀ má já síta.
Where we're sort of going with this, which is, do you think as a Yoruba man, knowing the Yoruba man's psyche and his capacity for multiple women, that polygamy is a way of life that needs to be reaccommodated in this our modern age? Because I know many men that would very much love a return to polygamy. Do you really think, though, that it is something that we should reconsider?
Kò sí bó ṣe lè mú torí akólòlò àpè bàbá. Tá bá ní òrùn, á lò ṣùpá. Ẹlẹ́kẹta, láàrin èmi àti àtàwọn tó wà níbí, I'm sure everybody would agree that there is a renaissance of Yoruba culture. Can we agree to that?
Absolutely, Ben.
I've seen a lot of friends like myself. To jẹ́ pé bàtà bímọ alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wa, èyí tó son David, èyí tó son Goliath.
Ètò sọ ní Hitler gan sọ bí tiẹ̀.
Ìtò sọmọ ní Krishna náà wà ń bẹ̀. Wọ́n ní Suleiman náà wà ń bẹ̀. Tó sọmọ ní Abdul Mustafa ìyẹn náà wà ń bẹ̀. But I have now noticed that when you now consider àwọn tó bímọ 5 years ago, bá máa bí second born, àbá àwọn tó ń bímọ ń sìn, àwọn tó ń sọmọ wọn ní orúkọ Yorùbá ti pọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
You see on internet that people are becoming very vocal. Oh, that is our Yoruba gele. That is our Yoruba amala. Don't call it rubbish. Don't do this, don't do that. And guess what? Even when it comes to religion, I was laughing with one of my mates a couple of days ago. And I said, Nino WhatsApp group you, Emilio Lelo Sijimo. Nino WhatsApp group you, and what? Emilio Lelo Sijos, you know, and we were laughing. We were laughing so badly. So my point is, as that renaissance comes, a lot of cultural things she get to je ikon Yoruba. To je pe it's an attribute of kini yi o da pe kon Yoruba ni. It would come back. We don't even need to do anything. If you think I'm lying, go to Shade Okoya's TikTok. Our TikTok page or our Instagram page. Go and see comments from young women that this is the kind of second wife I want to be. This is the kind of third wife I want to be. Do you get what I mean? And these were things that 5 years ago they were not there. So I think and then don't forget, the black woman experienced for the first time loneliness during COVID. You know, because of the Jackpot syndrome. Like I said, even the black man also saw loneliness for the first time.
Potential abroad, loneliness speaking you if you are not careful.
So it was the first time, you know, and this is why I give kudos. Sama Babawa, you know, the Onion of Ife, you know, you see that, you know what, a lot of his women are well to do. And like I said, a lot of times, Igbalode loti saw polygamy di the mufe basoni mufe shegba. No. It's more of community building. It's more of woman only be konton pe nile.
Rather than she's lonely, she's by herself, handling everything, not having a support system.
I want first and second wife. I always tell people, and I always tell people that, do you know that we actually found out that my grandfather actually did not have a lot of money than the women he married. But like we talk about the swag, the confidence attracted them. We're like, you know what?
Yes,
indicator.
I had my grandfather had women Tomakuro Tomawa camp and that was it, you know. He then would take them and adopt them as a wife. So I understand grandfathers, too, you know, if we're to judge them by these standards of those attributes of Yoruba demon, they have it. So pretty much you guys are the modern incarnation of those people, right? Those grandfathers and how they did it. They had their swag, yes. They had their confidence. They had their multiple women. But at that time, just this point you made, your grandfather likely didn't have more money than his women. So it was understood at the time, and particularly Yoruba culture is very much about female agency, female financial independence, and all of that. Do you think that the modern man has a slightly bigger ego now that cannot reckon too well with female agency, or do you think you're still good at it? Do you think that there's a part of modern Yoruba man that feels that a woman still needs to be subdued somewhat? So that's being pinned. See, a bit of an independent person like myself. Do you think his psyche now can handle that?
So presently, this is between me and you. So it's both ways. So until we find out what it means to be an omoluabi for a man and what it means to be an omoluabi for a woman, we would keep having these clashes. So let me give you an example. Kilonja omoluabi, gbogbo alamo, there are 7 different attributes of it. Oniwa pẹ̀lẹ́, so as a man, ìwọ náà mọ bó ṣe máa gbọ́rọ̀ kalẹ̀ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà àmọ́ bóun náà ṣe máa gbọ́rọ̀ kalẹ̀ fún ẹ. Ṣe get kan kéèyàn já kíkanjú. A lot of our men are also weaklings at this moment. What is sọnù?
Find your courage, honestly. And courage isn't only going to war or tackling the thing outside. It's also confronting the thing in the home, right? Being able to be open and vulnerable.
So that's the reason why I'm saying that, I understand where you're coming from, but then like I like to tell people, it's a two-edged street, it's a two-edged sword, and omoluabi àwọn èèyàn wa ti sọnù. Tomoluabi àwọn èèyàn wa bá ti sọnù. Why would you feel confident nípò fẹ́ fún ọmọ ọlọ́mọ lóyún? O dẹ̀ fẹ́ tọ́mọ. It's ridiculous. I don't know where that is done. It's something very shameful. But look at every ọba mi tó jẹ́ pé ẹ̀kọ́ wò wá ẹ̀ báyìí ẹ̀dẹ́kọ̀ wò báyìí pé what are you doing? That's got him also. So omoluabi yẹn ti sọnù. So until we find that omoluabi character back and we live by it, a lot of our people, what about man sọ wá ní ayé lọ́jà ọ̀run nílé. So a lot of our people, until they refined that omoluabi, I come actually one okay,
And hopefully it will come back, because now that we're reclaiming culture, hopefully we're reclaiming the ethics of culture as well, because omoluabi, language, culture, then ethics, so it's almost like a hierarchy. So we will get there, I hope. Okay, my last question to you is, how can women better accommodate a Yoruba man's complex psyche? How can a genuine omoluabi woman, because again, the psyche you said is complex, right? How can we accommodate it? Because I want to cooperate with you people. Oh no, you have to understand.
Sorry, Madam Shola, can you delay? Really? Kole. Communication ni. Communication ni. Ma sọ̀rọ̀ fáwọn èèyàn. Sherry, obìnrin Yorùbá ò lè tó yẹn náà. Kò ń ṣe jàgídíjàgan. Wọ́n kọ dáadáa.
Àjẹfẹ́ gbà fún yín o, ẹ̀yin pípù yà fẹ́ gbà fún yín o, ẹ má rorò, a fẹ́ gbà fún yín. No, it's true.
Madam Shola, ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mi súnmọ́ àwọn obìnrin dáadáa.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
And I can tell you 100%, like communication ló gbà. Like obìnrin Yorùbá ò lè tó yẹn.
Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn communicate ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwa lè sọ 1,000 words in a minute. Is the communication happening from the other side? Àbí kí la lè ṣe láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa communicate, kọ́ máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀?
So I think this, just like we said, you need to talk more. You need to find a common ground. And obìnrin tó bá nífẹ̀ẹ́, ẹ lọ kanú ìwé tán Yorùbá, bá gbọ́ Ṣàngó àtọ̀yà, ṣẹ́gẹ́ tí kò tí mò ń sọ. Yorùbá women. Kí lẹ sọ?
I'm looking for Ṣàngó àtọ̀yà love. Mo ti ready.
Oh no, ni mo sọ pé Sherry, when you sit down and you look at it very, very well, Yoruba women will go all out for you. So the most important thing is, ṣá rò dáadáa, rò lẹ́ẹ̀mejì, lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta kó tó ṣe, and tó bá dẹ̀ máa ṣe tán, rántí pé ọmọ èèyàn kan náà ni, and kò sí bí àwọn àtẹ̀yìn gan jà, ṣẹ́gẹ́ tó kọ́.
So ìyẹn fáwọn akọrin, kí ni fáwọn obìnrin? Kí ni what is your own? Kí ni ìmọ̀ràn fún àwọn obìnrin? Ẹ sọ tọkùnrin.
Sùúrù.
Sùúrù yìí ṣáà náà ní o, arúgbó lọ́pọ̀ sùúrù yìí.
No. The reason, I mean, just remember, sùúrù, wọ́n ní pẹ̀lẹ́ lákọ, ó lábo. Sùúrù, ó lákọ, ó lábo. So wọ́n pé àwọn sùúrù kan máa wà tó jẹ́ pé ẹni tó ní sùúrù fún gan á mọ̀ pé ẹni yóò ní sùúrù lásán ṣe get nǹkan tí mò ń sọ you know and so yálà lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin sùúrù náà ni you have to reclaim that ọmọlúàbí principle back. Just need to understand that men on the long run are like babies. Bí ọ̀rọ̀ Saheed Òṣùpá ní bí kòkó ni obìnrin jẹ́ wá gbá kàrà wá gbá dundun lọmọdé fi ń mojú àjẹgẹt tó fà sọ́tún tó fà sósì ìwọ náà ló ní nǹkan ẹ. So I think it's a two-headed sword. The men need to understand sùúrù. The women need to understand sùúrù. We need to understand that, look at Ajo wa funra wa ni. We come from one another, and sùúrù ló láyé.
Thank you very much. That's beautiful. Let's go. There's one more thing, as you know, that we always, I always like for my guests to have a question for the next guest. So, the guest, I have a question for you, and I'd like you to give me a question for my next guest, which is, what kind of intervention do you think can help Gen Z appreciate the culture better? So you can keep it short.
It lies on the government.
Government, okay. In what way?
It lies on the government. You know what? Guess what? Means magic in Korean drama. I don't sit down to watch it all, but Nigba mi Mako Gano see, I just watch. Do you know it was just a couple of days ago I was seeing the slums in Japan and I was like what's it bombard wa ta ti mo ti e rori pe slum one Japan. So the propaganda that has made it that ọmọ kan máa jókòó ságége á jókòó sí Jẹ̀bú-Òde á lóun fẹ́ jẹ pizza tí ò lọ sí Italy rí. The propaganda that has made it that people will say they want to eat kíni tẹ máa ń jẹ pẹ̀lú fọ́ọ̀kì, I mean kíni
the dumplings in Kong àwọn kíni yẹn.
Èyí tó máa ń ṣe pẹ̀lú rice tútù.
Oh, sushi.
So the propaganda that has done that, we need to input that propaganda to the Gen Zs, and it's money, it's entertainment, it's
everything, pop culture, education as well.
There's something there's a movie I want to do, but I don't have the money. In fact, I mean,
choice.
So, Madam Shola,
send me the question for my next guest so that I can let you.
I'll ask it.
Okay.
So the question for your next guest, is the person should rate his love for Yoruba people.
Okay, so because I want to present it exactly as you said.
So, would you say that your love for Yoruba people, Yoruba land, and Yoruba future is 100 over 100?
Okay. People, culture, and land, right? Yeah. Okay. Is it 100 over 100? Thank you so much, Mr. Káyọ Deoloko, for joining me. I know we will continue our conversation in private. Don't jealous me, people. I have access to this amazing man that is doing so much for Yoruba culture.
Anybody that wants access, let me give them access. So, am I showing you?
Okay, so just DM me. Okay, like, share, subscribe. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Oloko. I'm sure you will agree that we've had an amazing conversation with Mr. Oloko. If you'd like to suggest a next guest or to refer me to one or one to me, please do so. Follow us. We will keep lots of conversations, important conversations like this about Yoruba culture and development coming in the next, as the months go. So keep coming back every month. to join us in doing this. Eshe, thank you very much for your time. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ó dàárọ̀.